This is a meeting, call a meeting to order. This is a meeting of the Hamilton Board of Selectmen and Board of Health being held in the Townhouse Auditorium, April 19th, 2022, 6:30 p.m. This meeting is being conducted in person and remotely using video conferencing technology as authorized by the governor and legislation until July 15th, 2022. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So we have is anyone recording the meeting? Recording the meeting. We have a short meeting tonight at 7 o'clock. At 7 o'clock, we will adjourn this meeting and the selectmen will join the advisory committee hearing, which is being held tonight, beginning at 7 p.m. If anybody's watching on television here, you should come down and see how your money is spent. We don't have any minutes. First item on the agenda is a review of the town meeting warrant. Latest update. I can go through them here if you want, one by one.
I vote no. I vote no.
No, it's fine. So we'll do it at the advisory committee, right?
Yeah.
All right. And
I'll say, we've all accepted these articles for publication in the warrant at this point, correct?
correct.
Mr. Chair, would you like a motion to close the warrant?
You moved all the financials back up to the front, though, that
I think you organized them, didn't you?
organized the financials.
Yeah, we'll
towards the
put the
front.
financial in front and kind of the special articles in the middle, and then the paperwork stuff at the end. You know,
I'll entertain a motion to close.
I will.
All right, Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to close the annual town meeting warrant for fiscal year 23. Town meeting to be held on May 9th, 2022.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor? Aye. Huh?
Amen is not appropriate.
Do we have to sign? Should we sign these or?
Okay, we need to sign 7 copies.
Okay, sign seven.
That's like 7 copies.
Well, there's 5 places,
Yeah,
you know,
five,
like Gary's,
right.
you know, and all
Yeah,
that.
but there's more. Five postings.
Yeah,
So we have 5 signature pages here. or-
so you have 3.
Well, usually they're loose copies.
Yeah. So we don't have the whole thing, single copies of
You know,
the
if,
sign
Don,
page.
basically, if you could just print the last page 5 times, 6 times,
Yeah,
and bring it up, we'll pass it around, then you can like
Yeah.
organize that tomorrow with Pam.
okay.
I think who we have for constable now, I know,
And
Dave
it-
has moved out of town, so it's Andrew.
Yeah. Let's see, correspondence, what do we have for correspondence here?
Right, some of it all.
College,
It's
all right.
just the bills.
We have the. I do have a couple of pieces of correspondence for us to sign. These are thank yous for the day of service, the Rotary, the Wilbraham Rotary did over in Memorial Park. Girl Scouts were there, the Rotary Club, and the Above the Influence Club. I'm talking about the Influence Club. Overnight.
I don't think we were informed about that. I know it didn't come up, right?
It did come, it was through, I think it was through Parks and Rec.
Okay. I read about it online.
Oh,
So I saw it in the papers, so I thought we should send it back.
as long as we're reporting on community things, so we're having our annual spring cleanup. Last year we did 2, so talking to Heather Jelliker and Amy Billadu, the date is now April 30th. Annual, Sarah, you recall we do that, you know, annually. So road cleanup, we've got shirts coming, looking for an exciting new color this year. So that anyone who's, you know, getting full collection, you know, soon to be, you know, they'll be offering them on eBay. Got one for you, Don, as well. Hand lettered by the children.
So,
Could be.
Spell.
So that'll be April 30th, and any information, you'll see it on Facebook, to be sure. if somebody knows how to tweet, maybe they can tweet about it.
We're on Twitter account.
You were shut down too?
We have another piece of correspondence from our town council regarding Howard Hill Road.
I thought that was a great recap.
And basically said it's a private matter. And I believe I'll pass this along to the people at home.
And want to go through Eva, because she was the one, yeah.
Official correspondence from her.
Yeah. And we have, what else we have for correspondence? We have the Pioneer Valley Planning Council, the DLT grant. I need to sign this for, so they can go ahead and do the shared common person. Okay. $419. Pass that down to Bob. What else we got? We have the resignation of police officer. Officer Gora's resigning, and she's attending the Massachusetts State Police Academy in May.
Wish her well.
Thank you for her service.
Draft a letter wishing her well, thank you for her service.
It's a big accomplishment. Moving on to the MSP.
We get lots of mail today.
Oh, saved up from yesterday. Okay, that's really 2 days work.
All right, we have a. Let's hear that. Okay. Peter, we have a water district quote.
John.
Water district quote.
We finally got all the numbers in. Engineering, a well drilling company. And so we have finally a good number to go with. The bottom total amount is $27,271.73. That is, and only one's an estimate is we have to have a tanker, which could come, we think it's gonna be $600. Don't have a solid quote on that.
Would that be like a backup water supply basically?
It could be, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that would fill the holding tank if it were to run low from consumption.
It'd be chlorinated water, so.
Now, would you say this is half and half? We obviously expanded the district for the Main Street water. And we were talking about taking the opportunity to do some upgrades at the same time.
Yes,
Would you say this is half and half,
definitely,
basically? Okay.
definitely. I mean, the wells have not been serviced per se
Mhm.
since they became operational in 99, 98 or 99.
99.
99. So they needed to be serviced, and that's basically called back flushing is what it is. So
So it's a good opportunity to get it all done.
it couldn't be more opportunities.
I guess one of the wells has a little bit of particulate and fines is what they were calling them, kind of blocking the filter from the water trailing back into the fill basin.
I'm not surprised after 20-something years of use of that. At home, changing it out.
And that they're gonna install an regulator valve that lead off the air off the system.
So funding wise, this could either be, well, one way or the other, it'd be ARPA, one way or the other. Whether it be an expansion of the bid for Main Street water or just its own separate ARPA. Bob, this would qualify as water works, correct?
I think
I
though,
think it should be a separate.
aren't we under the budget of what was voted on for the original funding?
We had a couple, there was the extra valve, remember?
Yes,
I think
yeah.
they recommended at, or Bob Flag wanted to have put in things like that. It's pretty, certainly not 26,000.
No, this was unforeseen, right? That we had the service. That's the perfect time to do it because it's going to have to be done.
And certainly qualifies as an ARPA expenditure on its
And
own.
we have one pump which is questionable, so that's part of this is replacing that pump.
So, but either way we do it, it's coming out of the ARPA funds.
Right.
Yes.
exactly.
Very true, yes, yes.
I wouldn't want to muddy
Yeah.
the Main Street thing, so I guess I would make a recommendation that we authorize expenditure from the ARPA funds for the improvements to the Scanic Valley Water District.
Second.
I'm on the commission.
Find you second.
That's it. Any further discussion from you?
Well, let's see. How many pictures of the parks you're buying or not? Maybe a multimedia presentation? We got time to kill.
Oh,
We can take a tour out there. We got 20 minutes.
well, you can see the progress they're making out there, finishing up the project. Sure. The paving has been done. I see most of the seating and
The grading.
grading is completed, so we should be. Question I have is, at what point in time will I be able to proceed with this project?
Yeah, what's the quote good for, the date is 30 days?
At the most,
I would coordinate that with Bob Flagg and Alec and Bob, just
Yeah.
in time bond. I mean, when they sign off on the project and because they're gonna do the final, they're our engineers checking the progress. Once they sign off, I would say you're clear to go.
this
All in favor?
Right?
quote's good for 10 days, but I don't think that's,
Yeah.
we're held to that.
Well, fortunately, like a lot of it is labor, which shouldn't change much. If it was purchase stuff, I think we're worried.
Well, the dwelling, the company that has to do the work is the biggest part of it.
Yeah. Good. All right, that's good. Got that.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Thanks, John.
Thank you.
And thank you, other member of the commission.
Marcus, what's this Marcus communications quote?
That was just what we approved last week for the fire department, looks like.
Right?
Yes, that's what it is.
We don't have to do anything. with it.
We approved it last week.
We did it last week. Okay. And this is a Senior Center Director's disclosure for expenses for seminar being paid by Mass Council on Aging. All right.
So basically, Becky's going to the annual conference and I think is it $200, $130?
She has to disclose that she's taking a benefit, not a benefit, but
Yeah, exactly.
they're paying for her to go.
We have to sign off on this.
Mhm.
All right, any
Does it
questions?
require a motion down or just,
I think it's another consideration of fact this closing play, I find it like give
or just
give us.
receive basically?
I think it's just notification,
Yeah,
so it doesn't violate the ethics rules.
sign here. I'll sign it. Appointing authority signature. Reimbursement waiver, parent travel survey, legitimate purpose, yes. Such public purpose outweighs the special non-work related benefit. All right. Sign tonight. Okay, that's, what else we got?
Bob,
Then we got Parks and Rec. Did you talk to Parks and Rec about their posting? Parks and Rec posting? Posting. Yeah, Parks and Recs.
yeah, I think they were a little confused about the procedure in place and, I mean, I applaud their going out and trying to drum up some interest, but
yes.
the way they.
I did send a
expressed it-
message to Kristen about that today.
Okay,
Technically not a vacancy until,
until whatever,
Until the
technically, I mean, it's good to put it out there, hey, we need somebody. Same thing is true of cemetery at this point, because Linda was in Florida, she didn't get her papers in. I think this happened 3 years ago, and we just basically wrote her in at the election, or we're lucky to have her stay on. Hopefully she will. It's not marketing town, so I'm surprised she's not there.
What else we got? Selectmen's reports.
Let's see, we have, so you're gonna see tonight the CPA request from the Housing Authority for upgrades at their buildings. This has gone to the CPA committee already, where it received a unanimous endorsement. That is at this point the only, sorry, the second request for CPA will be for additional funding for the, engineering work for the turf replacement at the high school, which also received a, I believe, unanimous endorsement. And that'll be the two CPA requests.
Now, they have that second request, the engineering work at turf. That's on the Wilbraham town meeting, but their advisory committee recommended negative action. So if we voted at our town meeting, on Monday, which is before their town meeting.
Yeah, ours is contingent upon successful on both sides, yeah. Which is the way the first one was as well.
Okay.
I think it was 2 years ago, Don. Might have been, maybe it was 3 years.
What else you got?
That's it for my boards.
All clear over here, strategic planning last week. I wasn't able to attend last week, but Gina's been passing up all the info, just progressing on the mission vision statements.
I'd like to hear back from maybe Michelle or somebody. What's their timeline for superintendent? Might be able to sense, where that is. Maybe
I think there was some discussion at last week's school committee meeting about that, about moving the procedure along.
I just
What's
think
their
that this is
timeline?
purely talking speculative.
There is a survey that's going out April 26th, and they're having community feedback focus groups throughout the day, April 27th at TWB. I mean, as far as finding a superintendent, they plan to have it done by July 1.
And they have a company, right? Because
NASDAQ. They're using NASDAQ.
I just think they should have in the back pocket, perhaps an interim might be a thing to do. So the pool is broader with a longer. So. Was that you, Tyler?
Some kids' toys over there.
Okay, well, here. Town administrator report.
Okay, we did get a quote from Blackboard Connect, now known as Blackboard. I'm sorry, now known as Connect. They're dropping the word Blackboard. As John has pointed out, they are a much better system, and they've come in with a price, which I shared with you there, that's actually lower than Rave. So recommend that we contract with Connect or emergency communications.
We had used them before, and then Jeff recommended we go over to Rave.
Yeah,
But as I said before, if the regional dispatch is using Blackboard, I think it'd be good if we all consistent with how we send out the message.
so
The rave contract.
the contract, yeah, the contract would be for July 1 for a new fiscal year. So we'll go with Rave until June 30th, and then if you agree, we'll make the switch and be prepared for the switch July 1.
A motion.
I'll make a motion that we, for the next fiscal year, we use Blackboard Connect for the emergency communication section.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, what else you got?
Well, the state,
Picture or it isn't true. You say the earmarks here, I want to see it now.
the state budget earmark to help the town deal with dead and damaged trees in the public way has arrived. It's $100,000
The year after we got it.
Sure.
It has been spent. Fortunately, fortunately, the state, they got it in the door before the end of the fiscal year. And so we're happy. And thanks to Representative Ash. Arpa, I gave you an updated,
Bob, back to the tree thing, and this is probably directed to Craig, because you're our liaison to parks. Can you check into what's happening with that extra money we put in for the tree work? I remember,
Mhm.
and we moved it to, I think, 20,000, just
For the back over there, for the corner of the lot.
basically for the park. and
Memorial
rec.
Park?
Yeah, just because I'm worried, I think we had that actually in the budget.
Yes,
I thought it was
So if
in
they have
the-
a plan to get it done, it needs to be done by the end of,
I thought it was in the tree warden's account.
either way, it's gotta be done by the end of June.
Okay.
So if they have, sounds like you need to schedule it, stuff like that.
okay. You have an updated ARPA amount that includes the recommended cost for design for a sidewalk along Main Street from Ty and Bond. I also updated the amount for, I don't have my copy, for the excavator as well as the trailer. And that's the most recent.
When will we go back about that community compact grant for the fiber?
I don't know.
Is that something that's gonna take months or?
I don't think so. No, they usually get an answer to you relatively soon. My guess is the deadline was mid-April, sometime in early June. So, we had a meeting today with the town of Long Meadow, Munson, and Hamden to develop a shared conservation agent. And you had signed the DLTA grant tonight, which would fund a staff person at the Pioneer Valley Planning Commission to organize the effort for us, coordinate the effort for us. So that was the technique that we used for the shared health agreement as well. The PVPC person basically coordinated the effort and also drafted the language for the bylaws and so forth. The fiber optic community compact grant went in on the 14th of April. I delayed that to almost the end because we were waiting to see if Wilbraham wanted to submit a joint grant. They're going in a little bit different direction and they're a little bit ahead of the town. And so their selectmen thought that it would be best to go alone. So I put in a grant request for $250,000. Town hall windows. As you know, Senator Lesser sent around a message asking if we can recommend an earmark in the budget up to $250,000. So with the help of the library director, we counted the windows, we measured the windows, and I've asked for $250,000 to replace the windows on the upper level of town hall, which are drafty, certainly in the wintertime, I can attest to that. And it's not very comfortable for the library staff or for those who patronize the library. So you've signed the DLTA grant, and lastly, are we at a point where you would want me to put in the application for green communities?
Put it off till next week.
Yeah, I'd
Okay.
like to know what it would obligate us to, whether that's. the kind of thing.
What bylaws we have to adopt for that?
Yeah, there are 5 standards. I'll give you that list next week.
Thank you.
Anything else to come before the board? Entertain a motion to adjourn. We'll adjourn to the advisory committee hearing at 7 p.m.
Make a motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
They come up here this time.
They're coming up here.
Yes, sir.